where girls are raped and they're accused of being raped because of what they wore or provoking rape.
It was a police officer actually said, like in a public statement, that it was her fault. She shouldn't have been wearing what she
How long ago was this?
3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
Sorry?
3 or 4 months.
Oh, so it was this year?
Yeah,
Rape
really
happened this
recently.
year.
Well, it would have happened 12 months ago, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, more than one incident. It's been running for a few years in the US, I think, but it's not uncommon. She shouldn't have been wearing that. She provoked it.
So one of the signs that she was carrying was, I wore this when I was raped.
Yeah.
I still said no. Or
And
something like that. That was a sign. It's just
there were 2 cases this year in Sydney about the skinny jeans defence where they're like, I couldn't have raped her because she's wearing skinny jeans. She would have had to take it off for me to have raped her. There was and they got off on that
Oh
defence.
my god.
Yeah, look it up. It was, they got off on the skinny jeans defence.
Oh my god.
I did not know that.
Yes. This was about 12 months ago. It was 2 cases. One of them was about 12 months ago. One of them was maybe 8 months ago. But yeah, one girl was like, I'm a size 8. My jeans come off me. I have no bum. But the judge actually said, yeah, she would have had to have helped you take it off. She came upstairs with you and she was and she was blamed.
Oh, so there's also the interesting interpretation of rape thing. Because I always thought it was like no.
Yeah.
If someone says no, no matter what stage.
Yeah. But
that's
apparently,
rape.
they were saying though that she may have said. I don't know if that was the actual defence, that she would have been complicit in it because she took off her pants.
Yeah, but then if she says no, it
After
doesn't
that,
matter.
exactly. But yeah,
Imagine how harrowing that would be. You're raped and you've got to justify whether you could.
skinny jeans defence, like that was just really bizarre.
That's pretty amazing. Wow. I wouldn't actually think the court would do that, though.
No, I wouldn't.
It was in Sydney too.
But apparently it's actually quite hard to get a conviction for rape. It's not easy.
So much of it involves alcohol and the testimony is so sort of...
Yeah, and the second you got alcohol in your blood and stuff, then...
What do you think about the word?
The word rape.
No, slut.
Slut.
No.
Because I remember, as a guy, I hate it. I think it's a disgusting word. And I find it weird, like, as a black guy as well. I find it weird when you, like, black guys that say nigger. I find that really...
Yeah.
Like, fuck. It's just, to me, that's like a sign of, like, I'm really uneducated, and I'm going to use this word as a joke. But
And it's an Americanism.
I don't know if other, like, people all around the world use the word as well. But, and I've probably used it sparingly at times as well, but there's always something in the back of my head going, this is a really bizarre thing to do.
But what's your definition of a slut? Is it a girl who is openly sexual?
Yeah, that's another thing.
You know, is it a girl who sleeps with married men?
Is it a good or a bad thing? So connotation.
The word's negative.
It was interesting though, because they called this the slut walk, obviously, to overcome the stigma of slut. New South Wales government ran a campaign against bullying about a year ago, where there were a whole lot of people ads.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and it was
graphics for it.
they incorporated the word slut into it because kids use the word slut.
It's certainly a derogatory word.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact statement. It was something like she's a slut, and then it was like cartoons aimed at kids, and then saying that's not okay to call somebody a slut. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a word. Why is it different to whore? Why is it different to prosy or?
But a whore is generally a prostitute, so they're being paid.
Sluts and prosy.
So it doesn't really matter what you call it.
It's still derogatory to her.
It's a derogatory term.
It's in the same category as nigger, as wog, as. I don't know. Yeah. I think what they did though with the slut walk was quite good. To call it a slut walk. It's just a saying we don't deserve to be raped because we look like a slut.
Yeah, but it was on a Monday.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So whether they
In Newtown. And I've gone, it's Monday, I'm at work.
It's Monday night, I'm guessing.
No, it was during the day. It was during work hours.
It is kind of bizarre. At least do it on a Saturday or something, you think.
We're not all unemployed students. But I think the general it's generally a march to say women don't deserve to be raped based on what they wear.
It was funny because I was looking at the ABC website and there's a lot of comments from people saying, yeah, there's no justification for rape, but there's things called like harm minimization. So if you wear something inappropriate or something that's really in in the presence of the wrong type of person, then it could trigger something off in that person.
Yeah, but I had this argument with a male friend of mine when I was about 18, and it ended up in tears, and they were my tears. But my justification was I should be able to wear whatever I want to wear, and it's their issue to deal with whatever problem they might have. It's like, I mean, it's like a guy walking down the street with no shirt, and I go and rape him and say, well, he didn't have a shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same concept.
Well, it's sort of like if you go and walk in a ghetto and you get murdered, then you put yourself in the way of harm, and that's the argument, which doesn't really add up. And then you're going into the territory of religious, Muslim covering, all of that.
Which is really weird, because it was only like, what, a year ago that we were talking about, it's so terrible to wear the burqa. And there's still elements in the Western community that I doubt call themselves Islamic at all. And they might think that you should probably wear something appropriate to avoid the risk of being raped, which is bizarre. And I wonder if these same people would have something against the burqa.
They probably would. I would imagine.
So we need fashion police. What is
You need like to get the bikini measurers
Yeah.
back on the beach.
Yeah.
But then having said that, I walked home through the cross at midnight last night, and wow, it's the middle of winter, and some of the things girls are wearing, you look like a slut.
Yeah.
You know, like a slut in that term, but wow.
But it's what you do when you're young. Because I think you don't understand the effects of it when you're young.
No, but where do they get that from? I think they get that from media magazines, they get it from Cosmo, they get it from reality TV, the Kardashians.
No, because I used to dress like a tut when I was younger, and I didn't have any of that.
So did I, actually.
Think about it. When you were 18, what did you wear?
Wow.
You were probably in your little miniskirt, your little two-top, out dancing a little hard out in some club. Here we go, you should wear more clothes. We go, clothes get in the way of dancing. So, you know, you have to remember what you probably wore at 18 as opposed to what you would wear now. And it's not right. You shouldn't be raped based on what
No,
you wear, or the
absolutely
fact
not,
that
yeah.
you encourage it based on what you wear.
But I still like in the cross, because I've even lived in the cross, and you look at it and you're like, oh, you should not be wearing. Like, I actually.
Yeah.
Why not?
I just think it's.
Well, that's the next question.
I don't think that they're
Why,
gonna be raped, but I'm just
yeah.
like, I just think it's skanky a little bit. I don't know.
Because that's the older perspective.
I think so.
It's that's a bit
No,
more
but when I was
maturity.
18, I still used to look at girls and go, wow, you look like a skank.
Yeah.
Or slut, or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Especially now when it's freezing cold. I've got 5 jackets.
Yeah, but I think at 18, 19, around you're exploring your sexuality a lot too. It's all about fun
Yeah.
and dancing and flirting and fun, basically.
Just my dad.
Or it should be.
yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
And rebelling against society, parents, what's expected.
No, that wasn't that for me. I don't
It was
think
a bit
it's
of
really
that for
based
me.
on that. What's it?
Yeah. Yeah, because you're now living in a society that's probably a lot less religious than it was.
And women are more aggressive these days too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, that's true.
they're more masculine. The younger girls as well.
Yeah, like when my mum grew up, she had 2 options. She could be 3 options: a nurse, a teacher, or a florist. That was
Yeah.
it. So her view of what it's okay to wear versus my view, when I can be whatever I want, is quite different.
Put more money in the meter in the car.
What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, what do you think? You're the straight
you're
man
a
here.
Yeah, like I said, I hate the word. I think it's really disgusting. I once called girls like when I was 16, and I remember it, and I really thought, I still feel bad for it, because at the time I was like really, really angry at her, and having a big argument, and I called it this. I still remember, like, I still feel like it was a really disgusting thing to do, and I've always hated it, because I don't really agree with bad connotations. I think it's a really mean thing.
I think it depends if you mean it or not.
Sorry?
I've called someone a slut before too, and that's because she was sleeping with one of my friend's boyfriends.
Yeah, so I
But she
used
wasn't. That's different.
it as an attack on someone, and I think that's really, like, it's
But
immature, it's uneducated, and it's cheap. Like, if you're going to argue with someone, why really resort to a simple little name calling?
But in what context did you call her a slut?
I just remember I felt really bad And then I think, so yeah, what does it actually mean? It doesn't mean anything. So if you call someone a slut, why should it be bad?
Is it
Generally.
yeah, and it's not the same as bitch. Like if you
No.
call somebody a bitch, it's different. A slut is more offensive. But
Yeah, if
fine.
you say it to someone's face, they'll get offended. But
Yeah.
to me, it's like, society's kind of a bit like, why is that an issue?
Yeah.
So a girl that sleeps with every guy, it gives a fuck. I don't.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point because I had an argument with my mum last week about Julia Gillard not being married, and I find it quite funny because it just came up in conversation and she was like, "Oh no, it's not right. And she shouldn't be living in this house with this man. She's not married to." And I was like, "Why?" To me, it's like, well, so what? They're long-term partners, and I have my own views on her, but the fact that she's
Yeah.
got an unmarried partner. So what? And my mum was like, no, it's just not right. So it's the same sort of thing. Like, who says it's right? Who says it's wrong? Like,
But society, for some reason, has judged it as being a negative thing. And I think that's down to education, really.
No, I disagree. I
Well-
think it's in relation to women's sexuality.
I think it's religious based
Women have every
too.
right to
That's
explore
where it's
their
based.
sexuality and do whatever they want. And they shouldn't be judged any more or less than anyone else.
No.
But the judgment used to stem from religion. You know, that's where it came from originally. But that's something like marriage. My mum's not religious. And that's why I find this even more fascinating that she thinks it's wrong not to be married, but she's not religious. So same thing, if you're not religious, who cares who you sleep with? But somehow society says it's wrong, so...
And then the idea that people still live in our society and think girls should dress a certain way, or people should dress a certain way, otherwise they might encourage, well, you might be put at risk.
Yeah, but you can still get prosecuted for being naked in public. Right.
Yeah, which
So-
why? Like, so being naked is so goddamn atrocious.
That's because you take photos of your own abs.
Put it on t-shirt.
But imagine if you're
biased.
walking down the street and you see all these random naked people. I don't want to see random naked
I
people.
once took an ex-girlfriend by mistake. There's Watson's Bay.
That little beach.
Lady Beach.
Yep.
Lady Beach.
I went there before, like just for something, and I saw this beautiful beach, tiny hidden away beach.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm gonna come back here for a picnic with my girlfriend. And so 2 weeks later,
Yep.
That's
in the middle of the
amazing.
day, she was Korean, hardcore Pacific Korean, so like it took me a month to kiss her on the lips in public because like there might be other Koreans around me. And I took her to this beach, and then what the fuck? There's all this naked guys.
And apparently they're all old
Wrinkly.
and full.
You're standing on the shore.
Yeah.
And she froze. And I remember the noise she made was like, and she couldn't move. She was completely frozen. And I had to like pick her up and like, she couldn't move. She was so shocked.
Mortified.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had no idea. Yeah, that's public. Who cares?
That,
Like,
that happened to a friend of mine, a woman at work the other week, but she was with her 6-year-old daughter and she had to go through there to get out. And she said she didn't know until her daughter's gone, Mummy, why doesn't that man have any underpants on?
That's really cool. So then you're like, because he doesn't want to. So what? And she's probably, the daughter's probably at the age where it's not such a thing. Like she doesn't know right and wrong in that sense. Like when you're a baby, when you're growing up, you're naked all the time. And then something happens at a certain age.
I wasn't naked all the time.
But not all the time. But your parents can carry you around
Yeah.
in public naked and no one cares. But a certain age happens, it's like, oh, you have to have clothes. And then
Yeah.
it all slightly changes.
It's a cultural thing though, because I remember when I went to Turkey, when we went to the baths, you know, the Turkish baths.
Ouch, can I say that? Ouch.
Jesus, yeah. The big slab Turkish woman who you don't know, you've got to strip off, they slap you around, they turn you upside down, they tell you they're going to wax you, they're just like, you're naked with a whole lot of women you've never met. It's a cultural thing that's perfectly acceptable in that space to be naked. But you will never be naked outside, and there's a very strong male-female difference in that society. So it's just cultural. Really, if you grew up in a nudist colony, you wouldn't know any different.
Yeah.
So
So I don't think it should be an issue. I don't think women's sexuality should be any more of a less of an issue than men's sexuality. It's so sweet. And then to think that you dress a certain way, like, and I've got no idea what studies have been done to support any of those ideas. Because then you say, alright, so if I'm in jail and I get raped, what was I wearing? Like, maybe I shouldn't have worn that, like, yellow jumpsuit that day.
It's all green, actually, in jail.
Maybe I rolled up my sleeves too much. How is that any different? How is that any different?
Well, that's the whole schoolgirl argument, that schoolgirls get targeted because of their uniforms by rapists, because rapists find it, you know, the whole schoolgirl fetish thing.
Remember those schoolgirls we saw in New Zealand when I stopped and took photos?
I do!
Yeah, I
do!
somewhere.
You sound like a creepy man when you just said
Oh,
that.
at the time we were all like, whoa, dog, you're weird, right?
Taking photos of schoolgirls.
I did
The
actually.
most ugly uniform
It was, right? It was, wow.
ever seen.
Yeah, that was our whole argument. Was like, wow, they completely like go to make sure that
what was it
nobody
though?
finds these schools
It was from
attractive.
the neck and it just went out. It was like a barrel. And I was like,
Yeah, it's like a sack.
it's so ugly. I was like, if I had daughters, I want them wearing that.
They are going to that school.
Repression of female sexuality by hypocrite.
Your son can have porn, but your daughter, no.
No, she has to wear a sack, yeah. Every other woman can wear what they like, but my wife and my daughter, no. See? You should be a Muslim.
I had tried to get my hands on the whole burqa thing quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you should have asked me when I lived in Dubai. I could
Well, I got a friend that's in
Why do you want one?
Afghanistan. Well, I was going to give one to my ex-girlfriend.
Do you want it to dress up in it? Is this a particular fetish thing? What's hot about when the fact they hide everything?
Yes.
No, but it's actually a weird experience because there's the world's biggest mosque is in Abu Dhabi, and if you go in as a woman, you have to put on the whole thing. So there were a few times in the Middle East when I didn't put it on, but it actually changes your persona once you're inside it because you know that nobody can see you. So you sort of behave a little bit differently. It's a really interesting psychological thing to put it on and walk around in.
You're a woman of
And people look at you differently
You
too.
mean like anonymity?
Yeah.
So you can be a bit bolder and stuff? And
Well, not really because you're in a Muslim
Well,
country.
but they still wouldn't know that you were like a foreigner. Because when I was in the Middle East for about 3 months, and we always had to put a headscarf on. We had to in the mosque. We'd always
Yeah, yeah.
dress to there to there. But they knew that we were tourists, and they treated us so like I got wanked next to like in a taxi. Like he just
Where were you?
in Jordan.
Yeah.
It was like, but I would have had to wear a full thing. And even then, I reckon they still might have picked me as like foreign or something. But God, it was the biggest mission. I haven't travelled since because it was so disturbing.
Really?
I've been to Jordan. I didn't find it.
I
Egypt,
find
I
it
did.
You know, Egypt we didn't. But,
Syria, I love Syria.
I love Syria too. Like, we
Syria,
went to
yeah.
Syria after Jordan. Love Syria, but Jordan, everything. Like we went to Wadi Rum.
Yeah.
They didn't take. We wanted to stay overnight in one of the towns.
Yeah.
No, they took me and another girl out to this desert with like 10 men, and that was it. And we just did not sleep. We were like, this is so freaking creepy. And our guide also left us in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the day, 50-degree temperature, because he wanted to go have a nap in the shade. And so we were just walking in the desert like for 2 hours.
Wow.
Like everything that could go wrong in Jordan did go wrong. Like, it was just, they were just
That's
horrible.
very
You had a
disappointing.
really
Really
different
great time
experience to
in
me.
Everyone told us how great Jordan was. We were planning to spend 2.5 weeks there, and we spent like 4 days and had to leave. It was
Wow.
just horrible.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Petra is amazing.
It's
Petra's
gorgeous. Yeah, beautiful.
But love Damascus, love everything about Syria.
Yeah, I love Syria.
Syria was so amazing. I got spat on in Syria.
Did
First
you?
day was better than being in Jordan. It really was.
Spent on Wake
I found
You had a
Egypt
great time
kind
in
of
the Middle East.
awesome. Egypt.
I think because we were the guy in Egypt that maybe he was white, but I think, I don't know, like Egypt was fine even when we went with my friend's brother. Like it was kind of okay. Like we could sort of deal with it because all it is a bit of
Yeah.
chat. But in Jordan it was just constant touching and just
Yeah,
why don't you want to have sex with me? I'm married, but why don't you want to have sex with me? I'm like, because I don't. Like, no.
you're what?
I'm married, but it doesn't matter. Like I can have sex if I want to. Why
Oh,
don't-
so I got
why
marriage
aren't you gonna-
proposals.
Yeah.
Would you like to be my fourth wife? Then you can really be number one.
Cool, yeah.
And I was with my mum, and mum would go, "Oh, you're going to get married?" I said, "Oh, I can go back to Egypt to marry that man, mum." No.
Take that, man.
But because I travelled with my mum, people told me I would have had a very different experience. To actually respect mothers.
Yeah.
And they said they said you would have got Egypt. We were harassed a lot, and it was much more touchy feeling.
Oh really?
Yep. In the other countries, not a problem.
We didn't get anything in Egypt, but we were with a guy who looked just like Jesus. Like seriously, he dressed
my tour guide.
He used to wear a beard and then he'd wear those white tunics, but he knew that he looked like Jesus and he just kept wearing it and people were just obsessed with him. Like,
Wow.
they would follow him around like, come on, harass us, we've had people get harassed here.
Have you
We're not
got a
getting
photo of
harassed.
Jesus?
He actually had passport photos taken, he gave one to us and he looks exactly like Jesus.
That's amazing.
It's hilarious.
That's brilliant. Jesus is my
But
tour
I
guide.
imagine wearing a burqa would be a bit like a two-way mirror,
Yeah.
because they can't see in, but you can see out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they knew that I was a foreigner because the Muslim women, they walk really slowly and they don't talk. They adopt this whole. It's a different persona. Western women, we're busy. I mean, like doing
Yeah.
certain, like even like and you're not shy and you don't step back. Like,
But it's bizarre to know what they wear underneath because like all the
Beautiful clothes.
like there's all this like
Designer wear.
lingerie and stuff in
One of the best stories I ever saw was when I was in Malaysia, and we saw, and it looked like the Flying Nun. She was in full burqa, parasailing. It was fabulous.
wow, that's amazing.
That was amazing.
Oh, wow. And we went to a bar in the bar, obviously, and there was a royal wedding that Jumeirah put on the royal weddings, and they always needed female staff because they separate the weddings, so you have the male part and the female part, whatever. And they always needed extra staff for the weddings because they're massive. So this one was a 3,000 women, and I worked in it just because I wanted to see. Everybody works in it because they want to see. They arrive in their burqas. There's a big room where they take the burqas off, and then it's like leave it top to toe, slinky, really low hair, like slut,
Yeah.
complete slut, but only in the presence of other women.
Yeah.
And they dress up for other women, which is
as long as it's not
But
another
women
man.
dress for other
Yeah.
women. We don't actually dress for men. Women dress for women.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
You don't think?
I used to, like, I've heard that so many times, and I used to think I did. As a teenager, I probably did. In my early 20s, I probably did. But now,
Well, now you probably
I
dress
don't
for
know.
yourself as opposed to dressing for a man or a woman.
yeah, like, I don't know if you dress for. I mean, you dress for other people.
But women
But-
dictate what beauty is. Women dictate what fashion is.
And you
It's
know
not
where it
dictated
comes
by
from. Like you
men.
do dress and you buy stuff knowing that a girl is going to probably compliment you because they know where it comes from.
You go, oh, is that new? If you're lucky.
Yeah. No, guys are so weird because you can pull out some really old piece of clothing and they go, wow, you look great. It's like, it costs you $5. Like,
Then you know he's straight.
yeah, when he wears something really expensive, he's gay. You look awesome. Is that Very funny.
But true.
Yeah.
Funny but true. Yeah. I know the slut thing's weird though, because I still think it. You know, like I will walk past the girl and think like put some clothes on, and that's sort of surprising because I'm a very like liberal person. So why do I think that?
I just think sometimes it's inappropriate. Like it's freezing cold. You're in like this to here with nothing else. And I'm like, just
last
put something
night,
warm on.
yeah.
Does it matter? Like put something warm on.
Because I did that when I was 18.
But like in a club, yes, but have a jacket with you. Like they just don't even have a jacket. And I'm like, just bring a jacket, take it off. You know, keep yourself warm. Don't get sick.
Wow! How old are you, man? No, still good, but I'm with you. I didn't think about that when I was 16, so.
No. Because you don't realise the effect it actually has.
I think you do a little
Yeah.
bit, but not the extent of. Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
extent of it.
And you don't realise how young and beautiful you are either. till
No,
you get
because you're
old.
young.
Yeah.
And you get these 30, 40 year old. I remember saying to these men, and they come up and go, dude, you're old enough to be my father. Fuck off. You know, and they keep coming. And you think, ooh,
It's gross.
I want that one over there.